Hello and welcome to the Radio Gamescast. As always, I'm your host Ryan, and I'm joined by my lovely quartet of co-hosts. I guess you're a trio of co-hosts, because I already have introduced myself. Alex and Wyatt.
Hello.
Howdy.
Mandatory banter out of the way. It's Crangled Travel Setup episode time. It'll be like this for a couple of weeks, as many of us are traveling around the holidays and in various places. So there'll be a few episodes that don't happen around Christmas, and there's going to be a handful of episodes that are really crangled, like this one where we just have audio because I couldn't figure out how to get the video stuff working quick enough on the new setup. So this week we're talking about the Game Awards. Game Awards are happening, I think, the 11th. They're usually around then. I don't actually know the date off the top of my head. That's surprising.
I used my last day of PTO just so I could watch it. I'm so excited.
And yeah, the plan is to do
That's
a
not a bad
reaction stream
idea.
and have a fun night going over Game Awards stuff.
As Ryan and I mentioned, I feel like everyone has their one like reality TV show that they get way too invested in. This is mine. I love this shit.
Look, it's a great night.
Even if it's stupid and some of the categories are dumb and some of the nominees are dumb and a lot of the stuff is really dumb, I love it so
I mean, there's a
much.
reason when you think of like people that enjoy movies, they generally are up to date with the Oscars, right? Even though most of them usually agree the Oscars are kind of bad. So,
Like,
I
wasn't
think
Same with
it
like
is
the
just
Grammys or
it's
something.
just now that finally the people voting on the movies have to watch all of them in the category.
yeah, it's just a fun
So
That's how
time.
crazy.
stupid the Oscars
So
is.
crazy.
Even when Jeff Keighley's wild ride gets a little too wild, that's a good way to put it.
The Jeff Keighley chicanery. The Jeff
So, yeah.
chicanery.
We're going to go through the nominees for each category. And I say each category, we're skipping 4 of them. We're skipping the content creator and esports categories just because we don't follow that stuff too much.
That's because we should have content creator.
We should have content creator. You're not burnt peanut.
We have like a total of 100 subscribers, probably. I don't even know.
Though I will say, my guilty pleasure Arc Raiders video watching is Burnt Peanut, who's very funny.
Is
So-
Burnt Peanut our new say his name as many times during the podcast?
I don't
Well, we
think
have
so.
to
I don't
see
know
if
how
we get a bump
popular
in
Burnt
views.
Peanut is. We'll see how many views we get in this 10-second window where we say Burnt Peanut
Listen.
too much.
Listen, this is all. That's all we care about with these. Is if we say a content creator's name, we get views. That's all we're
Yeah,
here for.
for
all
sure.
right?
Okay, so let's talk about. Let's just jump straight to it because this always ends up being a really long segment whenever we do it. And this year we get a lot of things to talk about. So it's been a good year for games, I think, in general. But we're not talking about this year yet. We're talking about most anticipated game. The nominees that Jeff Keighley and co. have brought to us are 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and Witcher 4. This is a good.
I feel like these are.
Yeah, this is solid.
Ooh.
This is a category
Yeah,
I don't
these
have
are
any
all-
complaints about.
This is solid.
These are almost all games I really want to play.
Yeah, it's rare
Probably
that I see
2 or 3 of them are going to
be
be day one for me.
a list of nominees that I really want to play. Although I'm not the
I-
biggest GTA person, I'll inevitably play it. It'll
I
happen.
honestly,
That's kind of how I feel about it.
I
the one that I
still
have the
have
least
never-
interest in is GTA 6.
Yeah,
I still
oddly the
have
same.
never played. I still have never played a GTA game in my life. I have no. I can muster no excitement around that series. I don't know.
Play Red Dead Redemption, and you will get a very similar game that is better, in my opinion.
To be clear, love Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2.
I'm
Don't get
actually
bang, but
mostly excited for Grand Theft Auto 6 because they did such a good job at Red Dead Redemption 2 that I kind of hope they raise the bar with GTA 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like,
But
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Although I'm also one of the
I think-
famous people that didn't love Red Dead 2 that much. Although I did like it, I just didn't. I don't know. It felt a little too semi for me, so I never quite got fully through it. And I've never finished the story mode, although I do desperately.
Oh, that's
want
why
to
you
at
don't
some
love it.
point.
You desperately need
I would
to.
say
Good story.
the one that I'm looking forward to most, I'm kind of split between Wolverine and Witcher 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I kind of can't decide.
with whatever takes up second place, also tying closely with 007 because it's been a while
Yeah.
since we've gotten a good James Bond game.
those are
Yeah.
the 3 that I'm really excited for as well. I
I'm gonna add
personally
in Requiem
voted for
as well.
Wolverine because I'm
Really excited for
an
Requiem.
X-Men guy.
Yeah, Wolverine looks great. I think Wolverine is probably the most close to a day one purchase for me. Oddly, Witcher 4, I'm excited for it, but like at the same time, Witcher 3 was so good that I'm kind of happy with it.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
I
kind
don't
of
know
in
if
the
that makes
same
sense.
boat.
I'm gonna be really excited to wait for the Game of the Year edition of Witcher 4 to buy.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I like Witcher 3 is such a good conclusion
Oh God, it
that
came out
like
10 years ago. Oh
Witcher 4
Jesus Christ!
like I'm definitely excited for Witcher 4, but it's
No
like
depth.
Wolverine and 007 are like those are brand new to me.
Yeah,
And so I'm very, very excited to see what they have in store.
It is
I
also
agree with
worth
that.
noting, like, I know that there's been a lot of like reappraisal of Spider-Man 2, and the reappraisal has not been super positive. I'm still a firm believer in that Insomniac has not put out a dud, and they put out the most games out of everyone on this fucking list.
Yeah,
I
no, I agree.
recently
It's kinda
replayed
crazy.
Spider-Man 2 and I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I think
Spider-Man 2 was pretty good to find for me. I like one better, but I think it was certainly not a bad game.
Yeah, I kind of
I
fell
still
out of
really
the same
like it.
area where like I liked it a lot. I don't think I liked it as much as one, but it was close, and
yeah,
that
I
I
think
think
that's
is good
fair.
enough to make me really hyped for Wolverine. And 007, the Hitman games have been fantastic. The last batch of Hitman stuff, it started
They're
rocky, but
still
it
coming
ended
out
up
with
really
content
good.
for
Yeah, they're still doing elusive targets. They just did Slim Shady, which is really fun.
I can't
they
wait to
just
kill
added a new
Sean Bean
game
again.
mode.
Yeah, you can buy the DLC to kill Sean Bean as many times as you want.
Which is really funny.
They
That's
made
a
a
crossover that I love.
they made a roguelite mode that's really fun.
Oh.
Plus, I'll say we've probably said it on this podcast before. Could not have picked a better developer for a James Bond
yeah.
game.
Yeah, it's a great
Like
pick.
perfect.
I'm just really curious to see how they're going to do the story stuff. But yeah, looking forward to it. I don't know that I have anything crazy to add to this list
Nope.
that I want more than any of these. I do think there's other games I'm excited for. Like Phantom Blade Zero is one that hasn't come out this
Yeah.
year that I'm interested in seeing.
I think Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core was pushed into 2026, so I'm very
Yeah, that was
interested to
cool.
see what that looks like. We haven't gotten any like solid gameplay yet, but I mean, I'm gonna be excited for it. I can't help
I don't
myself.
think this would make my top 5, but I'm still interested to. I'm still hopeful that Deca Police comes out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Deca Police looks
The-
cool.
Forgot about that.
The only other game I can think of that has a lot of like hype behind the name would be Elder Scrolls 6, but that's who knows when that could come out.
Todd has said, "quote unquote," it is years off, followed
Yeah.
directly by, but I would really like to shadow drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
What a
have hope for
wild
a
thing to
trailer
say.
in 2026.
The
I don't think we have
goddamn
hope for a game.
hope-
I've just
Opium
chosen
emitting
to
from
not
that
believe
man.
it exists until I see it. That's
Yeah.
that's my
I try not
approach
to spend
Elder
too
Scrolls
much
6.
yeah. Plus this is a hyped one for me just because I want to see if they can pull it off. Crimson Desert.
Yes.
I just want to see if they can pull it
Uh-huh.
off. I just want to see if it's real and if it lives up to even half of what they've showed off.
I mean,
in
everyone I heard that
trailers.
played it at PAX really liked it, so I think it's good. And I just don't know what to
That's crazy.
expect. It's crazy, dude. Okay, let's move on to best adaptation. There's a lot of stuff here that I think most of us didn't watch. Bizarrely, like Minecraft movie, I still haven't seen.
I don't think I'm
Zelda
ever gonna
Deathwatch.
watch this movie.
I have not
I
seen
did-
a single one of these.
Dude, the day that I learned that this movie made more money in like an afternoon than Mickey 17 did in almost its entire theatrical run pissed me off so much that I don't think I'm ever gonna watch this movie.
Yeah, I mean, my thing with like the adaptations is the only one I really liked recently is Fallout, and then I mean maybe Arcane, but like we've talked about Arcane a lot, and Arcane almost doesn't fall into adaptation in a weird way, where it's just not like adapting a story.
No,
Granted, Fallout's
it just
also
happens
not
to.
really adapting a game story, but it's still very cool. So
It's
The
taking a
only-
lot more from existing lore, though.
The only thing on this
Well-
list that I've seen was Last of Us Season 2, and the more I think about it, the less I like it. I think people who haven't played the games will probably get more out of it, but as someone
Yeah.
who is a big fan of the second game, I have a lot of issues with
I-
how this story was handled here.
No comment on the quality, but I feel like out of these, I feel like the most unnecessary to have been made is the Until Dawn one, because the
Yeah,
game in
that is
itself is
funny.
almost a movie. What the
Until
hell?
Dawn also is,
Actually, I've heard it's
to
kind of
my
good though. I
understanding,
think I know people that have liked
a
that.
completely different story than the game that happens to like vaguely connect.
Well, because
to
how
the
else
first-
would you do it, right? Because if it's the game is so movie-like that I don't know. Maybe I'm a bad game designer.
I don't know.
Can't think of a better way. But
From what I saw from the trailer, they really went hard on the Until Dawn name more than any concept from the game. But
Well,
I don't know. I have
I
not seen it.
So
I would say
no one
it's
remembered that.
ha
Damn.
ha.
ugh. I would say that like adapting Until Dawn is about as futile of an effort as like adapting Uncharted, where it's like, well, what's the point?
It's already a movie. Come on.
Yeah, it's
It's the better
already
version
kind
of a movie where
movie.
you can feel the action
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
consequences.
All right. Let's move on from adaptation just because I don't think we have a ton to say. The only other note
Yeah.
I'll add is like Devil May Cry. I've heard it's okay. Haven't seen it. It's the only one we hadn't talked about. Best multiplayer is our next category, and I actually think there's some good picks for this one.
Oh yeah.
I think there are other things that
think
we
what-
could have added here
Oh.
for sure, but I do think like there's nothing on this list I can complain about. So the nominees are Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction. This is one of the weird
if I had
categories where I've played every single one of these.
If I had a
Bizarrely.
voice, I could complain about Night Rain.
Like I have a lot of complaints about Night Rain. I think Night Rain should not be on the list. Just to be clear, I don't think it should be here.
This is a tricky one for me because I kind of wish there was a separate like co-op category.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
usually there's
to
not
put-
enough
to
Split
put-
games
Fiction would
for
automatically
it.
win that one.
I
Because
don't know
here's
that
the
it
thing.
would though, with like Peak and other stuff.
Really?
Because here's my thing: if there was a separate co-op category, and Split Fiction wasn't here, I'd give it to Battlefield 6, like in a heartbeat
Yeah.
for me. But because Split Fiction is here, it goes to Split Fiction for me because it is. I mean,
the
I
final
haven't.
like 40 minutes of Split Fiction is some of the best like co-op stuff I've ever seen.
And like to be
Um,
clear, I haven't played Peak, I haven't played Elden Ring, Night Rain. I've played the other three. Split Fiction is like the best designed game on here.
Which
It's
Actually-
like incredibly well made.
Yeah,
I haven't yet to play Split Fiction. I definitely will be eventually. I think what I voted for here is not going to win. I voted for Peak.
I don't know.
I know a
Peak's
lot of
simply
people
because
that
that-
love Peak.
Peak is great. Yeah, Alex and I played
exactly. I mean,
before. Yeah, got to the Peak.
I've gotten to the Peak myself.
we got to experience
and,
some more of those biomes too.
Yeah, they added
I
more.
think that game has like more of my friends, especially like less gamery friends, have played a lot of Peak with me, and I don't know. I think there's something to be said for just like how
Yeah.
it's a very good game, but it's also, despite being quite difficult, fairly accessible.
Yeah, and I'll also say this is a weird category because I think I actually would put the game here that I enjoyed the most as probably Battlefield 6. I don't think I would give it best multiplayer though, because of the combination of like Split Fiction, but also Arc Raiders. I think for me this is kind of a tie between Split Fiction and Arc Raiders. And to be clear, I'm not an extraction shooter person. I generally really don't like them. But Arc Raiders had a kind of lightning in the bottle thing with its first week or two, where it was like a PvPvE game where you would get on and most people were friendly and you'd have insane conversations with strangers, and that was really fun to like go around and you would end up in lots of like wacky scenarios, like classic of like just someone singing down a hallway or something, stuff like that. That Arc Raiders has had a really great multiplayer scene. It's becoming less friendly the more I play. Not
no.
See,
quickly.
okay, I fucking knew it. So, okay, sorry,
But
I didn't.
I'm
mean
a
to-
sample
okay.
size of one, and I want to be clear here that like I'm one person that doesn't play the game as much as a lot of other people do. Like I play maybe 1 or 2 matches a day when I'm playing it, not like 30, like some of the people that are going really hard at it will.
So I played this game for an hour and a half. I played with Ryan and a friend of ours. I'm gonna be honest with you, my experience during it, not a whole lot happened, and I wasn't really feeling it, so I did return it. Um, but there was a part of me where it's like, yes, the friendliness of it is definitely like a selling point for me, but there was something in my bones where I was like, this is not gonna last very long. And
So
I couldn't
the
explain it,
thing is, it
but
is lasting. Like it's not like it's gone. It's like now, I think what is happening is that the people that are more hardcore at the game have hit the point where they have too much stuff and are
Mhm.
basically unafraid of losing anything. But the problem is the casual players like myself are not to that point yet. And so running in the game, trying to get stuff, like I've kind of petered off playing it right now because the last few rounds I've done trying to get progress have been very, very hostile.
Mhm.
And in a couple of maps, it's kind of expected. Like there's one map that is basically just PvP because it's a tiny like corridor shooter map, and that's fine. Like that's a map that's kind of meant for it. But everything else has generally been very friendly. I do think like the level of multiplayer experiences in that game was so fun that I can totally see it winning. Like I think if it wins, it deserves
Sure.
it. I still think my pick is probably Split Fiction because Split Fiction, like the multiplayer part of Split Fiction, is not going to get worse or change as time goes on, if that makes sense. Whereas like
Yeah, absolutely.
everything else on this list, except for maybe Peak, the multi or maybe a Night Rain is kind of in the same position. The multiplayer bit is not going to change that much, or might change a lot. Like Battlefield 6, they could do something terrible. They could put specialists back at the
Oh, the
game.
running joke that we've had while playing is remember the fun experiences that we're having now because so many
What are they going
multiplayer
to do to
shooters
ruin
end
it?
up down the shitter, 3 or 4 years on, you know?
For sure. Yeah, I totally. Not that I think it will happen, but I think there is a chance of it happening.
I here's my thing, and it's partially the reason why there was a lot of talk about like, oh, Arc Raiders should be up for Game of the Year. I really hope it's Split Fiction because it is a completed experience that isn't going to rely on updates and it's not like a live servicey style thing.
Yeah.
It is a completed, just incredibly
It's a
well
done
designed
game that
video
is
game.
really fun to play. All of our complaints about the game are basically about the writing, and like they're
And
minor
even
in the
then,
grand scale, right?
like I didn't love the writing.
But the
As
multiplayer was so much fun that it didn't really matter that
Yeah,
much.
100%. I feel like in some ways we're sending a bad message if something like Arc Raiders or even Battlefield 6, which I really enjoy, wins. And I hope that highlighting something like Split
See,
Fiction,
if Split
I don't
Fiction
know.
were It Takes Two, I would agree. I think because it's Split Fiction and not It Takes Two, I don't think I think like Battlefield 6 or Arc Raiders winning would still be great. The only game here that I'll be kind of upset if it wins is Night Rain, because Night Rain had
Yeah.
like, and I enjoyed Night Rain, but you can play that game solo and it's fine. You don't need the multiplayer. The multiplayer didn't really feel like it added a ton to me
Mhm.
outside of like your entire group being super confused about where to go and having to coordinate really quickly, which can be fun, but was often just really tedious.
Right.
Okay, let's move on to best sports racing nominees for this category. And let's just
And
other
then
Can
let's
I
move right past it.
before I actually move on, any games anyone else would throw into best multiplayer that isn't here?
oh, good question. Hold on. Let me pull
Because
up my
I
Steam
realized we didn't do
library
that.
here.
I don't think there's
Uh
anything I'd throw in as like a huge factor here. I would give a nod to Abiotic Factor, but I think I prefer that game more for its actual survival elements and like the story than the multiplayer
if
part.
we're
So
if we're allowed to put in games that could be completely playable as a solo experience, Abyssus has been a really fun co-op game
yeah,
Ah.
throughout.
Abyssus is a great co-op one. That's a good pick. Yeah, a lot of good stuff this year. So I don't feel bad. Although actually, I did play something that I can add here. I didn't play it multiplayer, which I want to do. This is a video we need to do at some point, but it involves some setup to get correct. A thing called Archipelago, which is
Okay.
a multi-game randomizer that will essentially assign progress items from your game to other players' games in
Oh.
your lobby. And you can do it for
What?
a single game, so it can just randomize. Like I played Bomb Rush Cyberpunk with it, and it randomized my pickups and my like characters and everything, so I would like have a different experience. But if I were playing with one of you guys, and one of you guys had picked Hollow Knight, to play. You would now be playing Hollow Knight, and when you get an item, it might give me a thing, and when I get an item, it might give you a thing, and like that's such a fun.
Damn it! And this has to be a PC thing, right? Because if it wasn't, I would absolutely say I'm doing Sekiro for this.
It's a modded thing. It's a mod that
Damn.
you apply to a bunch of stuff. It's got a huge list of compatible games. People are working on more all the time. Biggest thing I want to see: give me a Morrowind randomizer in there, please, because I feel like that'd be so much fun.
That'd be great.
But yeah, Archipelago, super cool. I'm really looking forward to playing it at some point. And then yeah, the only other one, I feel weird recommending Ultimate Chicken Horse for this, just because I have played it before this year, but I played it mostly this year compared to when I've played it, and it's great. It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about all I'd say. That's not really a this year pick, so let's move on. Unless anyone else has one. Okay, silence is no. Best sports racing. Our nominees are EA Sports FC 26, F1 25, Mario Kart World Rematch, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Can I say something right off the bat here?
Please do.
We are not going to go off about these weird combination categories because we complain about it every year and it would just be a waste of breath at this point. I do want to say this year in particular, I feel like really highlights the issue of cramming different categories together.
See, I think this year the thing that makes sense to complain about it is less the categories that have existed before and more just why are we using the same ones and only the same ones?
Yeah.
Like,
And here's my thing. If we're talking about sports games, I am not a sports game person, but I think I am not the only one who was really excited by Rematch this year. As much as it makes me hate myself and the gaming community and the developers who made it, it's a very good game.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely pick it. Here's the problem. It's also a racing category, and Mario Kart World is here, and Mario Kart World rocks. So I have to pick it.
See, that's the problem with this category. And there's also another problem, Wyatt, and that's that the category doesn't have Inazuma 11 Victory Road.
Well, here's the other thing. So they keep picking the EA Sports, the ones that come out every single year. There's a lot of wacky, weird offshoots of different sports games
Wait a second.
out there that they don't pick.
Isn't Uma Musume technically a racing game?
Yeah, Uma Musume is technically a racing
Yeah, it's in a
game.
different category though, and I voted for it there.
Great.
Oh, it's in a different category. Okay.
They need to dig a little bit deeper when it comes to racing and sports games because there's definitely enough to fill up two categories, but they just have to get a little weird with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is that sports games, if they don't combine it with racing, it's a lot of the yearly franchises, and I think they're worried about what that voting would look like because so many people don't play them every year. But I don't know, it's weird to me that WWE 2K25 isn't here when it's the best game that the WWE franchise has had since ever, basically. Yeah, Sports FC is here, which I know a lot of people like it. It used to be FIFA, but to my understanding, people have been a little upset at it this year. So
people are upset at it every year. It's an EA.
You mean because it's a corrupt organization or a money grubbing game?
See, I don't know, right? That's the problem. But then
they only dropped one of the corrupt organizations from the title this year.
Then we have Mario Kart World Rematch and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which are so different from the other two nominees. Although I guess F1 is kind of in the same territory. It's just much more. It's a Codemasters racing game, so it's fantastic. Codemasters knows what they're doing.
It's simmy though, right? It's very simmy.
A little bit, yeah. Codemasters has done some non-simmy stuff like Burnout, but they're also very good at the sim racers.
Yeah, my dad for a long time played the F1 games every single year, and there was very few years that I didn't play it more than usually once or twice, but I usually gave him a try. And there was very few years where it didn't feel like a solid racing game that improved on the last one.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with the Codemasters games is they're generally always solid. But then Mario Kart World is one of the best kart racers probably ever. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is also one of the best kart racers probably ever. But now we have two kart racers.
I've heard a lot good about that.
And here's the thing, Mario Kart World, there's always going to be the discussion around its price point. But I think for right now, we're just talking about the quality of these games. And my God, Mario Kart World has quality just pouring everywhere.
Yeah, the
Like
level
it's
of like
That's-
attention to
I don't
detail
wanna-
and polish is incredible.
I am still playing it. Like I really liked Rematch. It's not even currently installed on my computer. I am still playing Mario Kart World. I at least do Knockout Tour like 2 or 3 times a week at
Yeah,
the
it's
bare
great.
minimum.
Don't want to get into this discussion because I don't have an opinion yet, because I have not played it yet. But that's crazy to hear you say that, because you are the first 2 people I have heard that's had something positive to say about Mario Kart World
Really?
amongst my friends.
Wow.
I think you might be in a bubble, just a little bit.
I don't know very many people who own a Switch too, so
I'll put it this
it's
way.
great.
I think there's going to be a lot of people that will prefer Mario Kart 8 just because it is a more like cut and dry
It's
classic
like 4
Mario Kart
years
experience.
of DLC as well, and like tons
Exactly.
of extra tracks.
This is definitely different than your standard Mario Kart game, for better and for worse, to be fair. There are some things about it that are super annoying. If
The
you're
lack
looking
of
for
like a proper open
traditional,
world menu mode, like the fact that it's just like hitting plus on the screen, is super weird still.
and I think you're going to be disappointed if you're more into like just doing Grand Prix. It can be kind of annoying, because you're kind of you're spending more time driving from track to track than actually doing the
yeah,
tracks.
you have a
And
lot of interstitial track segments.
to that regard, I completely understand, and I would be more disappointed in that if Knockout Tour wasn't the greatest thing that's ever happened to Mario Kart.
so
In my
much
opinion,
fun. It's so
Knockout
good.
Tour is incredible.
And then I do want to mention Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I don't own the game, but I did play a ton of the demo, and I'm definitely planning to pick it up when the Switch 2 version launches.
I've heard very good things.
Crossworlds is incredible. It's I would say better than Mario Kart as a sole kart racer, if that makes sense. But I think World as a package is a little bit more convincing with its like open world modes and Knockout Tour being a mode and all that, and it does a little bit more to innovate with like the grinding and stuff like that. Whereas Crossworlds feels more like a Mario Kart 8 thing, but it's a really, really good version of a Mario Kart 8 thing. So I would totally be open to either of those winning. I have.
I know
two
what you're going to add
games-
onto here. Can I guess one of them?
Yeah, go for it.
Kirby Air Riders.
I think Kirby Air Riders missed the cutoff. So
yeah, I think
it is one.
But in terms of things you want to add, it would probably be on here.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see it next year.
I would put Kirby Air Riders in action game and not in racing. I actually
fair
meant to
enough.
mention this in best multiplayer. I would actually probably put it in best multiplayer. Because the most fun
Okay.
I've been having with that game is online city trial is so much fun.
Right.
In a way, it's just a mode too. It's like Knockout Tour in that it's a mode that just doesn't. There isn't another game that does it, and it's just not like you can't find it anywhere else. If you like that type of thing, you only have that game. And I really like that type of thing, so I go for a lot of Kirby Air Riders. I think if Air Riders were here, it would probably be my pick, but not because it's the best for the category, just because I am extremely biased towards Kirby Air Riders. Because I am like one of those old school Air Rider fans from back in the GameCube days. So, yeah, I think it's great. It would not be my pick for this category. My actual pick for this category is Inazuma 11 Victory Road, which is debatable if it even belongs here, but it's a soccer JRPG that I think I've shown most of you at various points.
Oh, right.
If you haven't seen it, heavily encourage you looking up the Inazuma 11 games because they're hilarious. They're done by Level 5 and they're very, very well made. But I've been playing a ton of the Switch version, and I've only just now unlocked the ability to play a soccer match in the main story. So,
Oh my god.
it's great. And I've played
But
for
that
like
would be-
8 hours.
But that would be a perfect example of like you have to dig deep, I think, for sports games. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying you're doing more service to the category if you get a little bit more wacky and out there, and if
Yeah.
you kind of leave the bubble of like mainstream sports games.
Especially because like Inazuma 11 2 has this huge mode that's basically Ultimate Team from FIFA and EAFC, but completely free, and like there's no monetization at all. It's all like you going through this big map of the old games and going through all their matches again, essentially. And then by doing the matches, you have a chance at getting the players, and so you can build your team and like fight them against the other teams and play these incredibly crazy football matches where everything is shooting lightning. and you can shoot penguins at the other team. So there's tons of fun stuff
Hell yeah.
in those games that I think, yeah, it should have a spot here.
Taking a
Um,
fireball that surpasses the shadow hand. Don't forget
They'll
that.
actually say it might have missed the cutoff as well. I don't know if it was past the cutoff
Ah,
date when it came out.
darn.
Okay. Moving on to Best Sim Strategy, and this is another category that we always have a problem with. We'll say the nominees first. Final Fantasy Tactics, Evil East Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, The Altars, and 2 Point Museum. And man, this is a weird category this year. I I don't think we had this level of like variety last year. The one that stands out to me as a really kind of oddball, but I get why it's here. Pick is the Altars.
Yeah.
Because we all played that for Game Pass. We all have a bit of an idea of how that game plays. Definitely less heavy on the strategy than most of these, I would say. But yeah, odd to see here. Final Fantasy Tactics fits pretty clearly into the turn-based strategy angle, but it also looks really weird seeing Final Fantasy Tactics next to Civilization and Jurassic World. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a category that feels like it could use some cleaning up.
It's weird. It's tough with a strategy thing because it's strategy can be so many different. It can take so many different forms. I think especially in comparison to other genres that it's really tough
Yeah.
to like make a list like this.
It's also a set of genres that tends to not see that many high-profile releases in a year. So I get why this one's combined. I think more so than the sports racing category because we often see more of those games. But Sim Strategy, unless you start digging into PC releases that are PC only, in which case Dwarf Fortress would win every year. There is
Europa Universalis didn't make the cutoff this year, right?
Yeah,
That came out too late.
Okay, I don't know what the cutoff date was for this. I have to assume Europa did not make the cutoff because if Europa's missing, that's
Then
insane.
yeah.
That's insane. Because Universalis is, I think, like unequivocally the best strategy game released this year.
So after a quick Google search, it seems like the cutoff date for this year specifically was November 21st.
Interesting. Yeah, Universalis, I think, might have barely made that. It came out November 4th. It not being here, if it did make that cutoff, very strange. That said, I get it, because most of the Game Awards panel is like content creators, or not content creators, reviewers and journalist groups, which tend to not be the people that actually review the grand strategy games. Usually it's people that specialize in those games.
I will say I get why Civ 7 is here. I don't think the Civ games are ever good the first year they release because of just the
Well,
amounts of DLC that make up for so much.
See, I think Civ
That's
7 did launch in a weird state, mostly because of the UI, though, because the game itself was largely okay. It has a weird design decision with taking the like idea that your civilization is not the same the whole way through. Your leader is, but your civilization can change, which is a very like Europa Universalis way of looking at things, but it's also not what Civ has been. Like in a game called Civilization, not carrying the same civilization forth the whole way is a little strange. Uh, so yeah, there's a lot of mixed opinions on Civ 7. I do think, like quality-wise, it's one of the best in this list. I do also feel weird about Evil East Chronicles being here, which, despite me really liking it, that is just a remake. And not like a super fancy remake either. Like Evil East Chronicles is largely the original game with a couple of rewrites and some like a lot of script work, but overall the game itself is the same as the original one.
And Jurassic World Evolution 3, that's the park manager one, right?
Yeah, I can't say anything about Jurassic World Evolution.
Yes.
I'm sure it's fun.
I have seen
played the
pictures
original
of
and it
all
was
three
okay.
games. They have looked exactly the same to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that
don't
tends
have
to
much
be
to
strategy
say.
games. Don't
I'm
look
very
that different.
curious. I'm very curious about some of the later ones because I played the original one and I like the ideas, but I didn't especially like the game. So I kind of want to revisit and maybe try 3 if I can pick it up on like sale or something.
Yeah, I
but I
agree.
haven't played it.
I tend to like frontier development stuff. Like I like the Planet Coaster quite a lot, and I play a lot of Planet Zoo occasionally. It's quite fun. Um, I do think Planet Zoo is the best one they've made. The only like oddball here for me, and not oddball, but actually like maybe dark horse is the right word. Tempest Rising, super good. It's like a
I
Command and
have not
Conquer
heard of this.
inspired RTS game with like full single
I,
player campaigns and everything. It's super fun. From the very little of it that I've played, I definitely
I
can see that taking this for the RTS fans. Um,
I have not heard of this before we got to this category, and I was doing some quick, just like looking it up on Steam. It seems very classic RTS, like more
yes,
so than the other,
it's
like
very Command and
classically
Conquer.
rooted. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, look at that artwork there. Like that is the most Command and Conquer
I was
looking
I was
thing.
literally about to say, if you'd shown me the artwork without the title, I would have guessed a new Command and Conquer.
Oh, sure.
yeah, but it's a very good game. I think it absolutely belongs here. It has some really cool asynchronous units compared to like where the different factions have really different units to use, which is very fun. Um, Other one here, 2 Point Museum. I really like 2 Point Museum. I think it is probably the best of the 2 Point games that has been out. And yeah, I think that's also a good pick. There's not a lot here that I can be mad at winning. I think critically, The Altars is probably going to take it just because it's, I think, the most appealing game to a general person, right? If that makes sense.
I
Sure.
voted for that one. I wouldn't, because I really liked the game, but I wouldn't feel bad if anything else won, because the rest are probably better fitting to the category.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a weird
If that makes
position to
sense.
put
I don't know.
The Altars in because it's just an odd pick. Um, okay, well that's best sim strategy. Any other games people would throw on here aside from Europa Universalis, which I've already mentioned as being what would be my personal pick. Throwing things on
Um,
here.
you know what? Let's throw in an oddball pick. I don't play a lot of strategy games, but Ryan and I played one at the very beginning of this year that was actually pretty cool called Age of Darkness.
Yes, we did.
And that one's pretty cool. I don't really play a lot of strategy games, but miraculously, I actually played one that came out this year, so I'll throw that in there.
Yeah, Age of Darkness, very cool game. I forgot that came out. Yeah, January, didn't it? So
It's very early.
very
Yeah.
early on. Yeah, great game. Very cool. Moving on. Best family game. This is gonna be a bloodbath.
Well, shit.
This is a weird. Okay, say what they are first.
Okay, so we've got Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction. So half
I'm
of
gonna
these
say
are just
this.
overlap of our online games.
So I'm gonna say this as
Or
a
sports racing.
huge Bonanza fan. What the fuck is it doing here?
See, okay. This is always the weirdest thing with the best family category because you never know if it's like, is it the best game to play with your family or is it the best game for your kid to play? Because it seems to be getting used like both. And that's very weird. According to their reading, like the best of game appropriate for family play, that to me reads as you're all in the living room and you're all playing a game. And
Yes.
if that's the case, Donkey Kong Bonanza is great. Probably shouldn't get it because you can only play that with 2 players, and the second player is doing a weird thing.
The
If
second
you-
player, it feels like the whole 2 player aspect of it, because I've actually played this 2 player before. Not that it can't be fun, but it does feel very tacked on. Like it
kind of
feels
feels
like
like
they didn't
giving
know what to
your
do.
kid brother the controller, right?
Exactly, exactly.
I have not played Bonanza, but I think I'm familiar with the kind of multiplayer you're talking about. They did the same thing with Mario Odyssey and
Yeah.
I was
Mario
just about to
Sun.
compare it to
No,
that.
not Sunshine. The Galaxy,
Yeah,
where like
Galaxy
the
1 and 2.
second player gets like a really weird tacked on mechanic.
Well, I was about to bring that up too because it's the same team, and so they have a very similar. They must have like a set in stone way that they go about co-oping
We
their
have to
games.
have 2 players, but we can't really actually make
But
it
we don't know what to
2 player.
do.
So
Yeah.
I think the mandate would just be we need to be able to give our little kid brother the controller and not have them ruin the game.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely.
the mandate. Yeah, Lego Party and Lego Voyagers I think look really cool. this is again the weird thing with this category. Like Lego Voyagers and Split Fiction are 2-player co-op games. Great games. Best Family is a weird category because now you're only got 2 players. Is the rest of the family just watching? Like, are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
swapping controllers? Because that's weird. For
I
Split
think
Fiction, you shouldn't
I
be
think for
doing.
family games, you need more than 2 people. I would say
Yeah.
3 people is the minimum.
I agree. Which brings us to really the 3 nominees, at least according to what we've just said, are Lego Party, Mario Kart World, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which all fit. Like those are good
Oh,
picks.
sure.
This is another one where Air Riders would make a lot of sense, and maybe it'll be there next year. I think of these, just because I haven't played Lego Party, I think there's a significant chance that Lego Party would be my pick if I had played it. I think Mario
Mhm.
Kart World has to be mine, just because I think that's such an easy to pick up and play co-op, or not co-op, but competitive racing game, and it's just so
Mario
much fun.
Kart could get this category for every year forever, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly why it
I'm
should.
not. I'm not. I'm not
Also, it's like
saying
Mario
that it
Kart only
should,
releases
but I just mean
once in a
like,
blue moon, right? So it's not in this category.
yeah,
very
exactly.
often.
I just mean like
Um,
Mario Kart is almost always the most approachable game to suggest.
Yeah, I think this really is Mario Kart to me is the easiest pick, because even in the case of like, I think Sonic Racing is maybe a better kart racer in the strictest of terms, but the Sonic characters to me are less appealing to kids than the Mario characters. At least nowadays, where Sonic is mostly like I think legacy fans and then the Sonic movies, and Mario
One could
has like
argue
a huge amount of Nintendo fans.
they're just less appealing in general than Mario characters. I'm not saying I would never claim to make that argument at all.
I think
Hey
it's
Never.
just
man,
like
But
I don't think it's
Mario
about
doesn't
appeal.
have 3 movies yet.
I think it's the identifiability, right? Like it's the branding of the Mario characters is just a little bit better than Sonic's branding, if that makes sense. Because like any little kid can get excited about Mario and Princess Peach, right? So I think Mario Kart World probably would take it for me just based on that. Whether or not that's fair to Sonic, I don't know. This whole thing is arbitrary, so who cares? Are there any other games people would add to this list, though? Any other family appropriate games from the year?
I mean, you mentioned Ultimate Chicken Horse earlier, which didn't come out this year, but that's like immediately. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
games like
hold
that.
up. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm going to double check myself if this came out this year. Oh no, 2 years ago. Never mind. Bopple Battle.
Oh, Bopple would have been great, but yeah.
Yeah. That was 2 years ago. Never mind.
All right. Moving on to best fighting, which always
I'm going
has
to
a
shut the fuck up
oddball
and let you
collection.
guys talk about this.
Yeah, let me take this one. Let me take this one. So, 2XKO, not out. Don't know why it's here. It's
Wait. Huh.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that.
Let me make sure I get their terminology correct.
Isn't it an alpha?
Yeah, it's in an
Closed alpha?
like 2v2 fighting thing, early access. My stance generally is that if you're winning a game award, unless it's an early access category, an early access game shouldn't be here. So it's weird that 2XKO is here at all. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is also weird because it's a collection of games and not a single game. That same thing applies to Mortal Kombat Legacy and to Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, which is just an additional version of Virtua Fighter 5.
Oh.
The only new game
So
in this list is Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, which is, I guess, wins by default. But it's also not that good.
Oh no.
It's not bad. It's
yeah,
just,
was there
it's
just
not
no
like
fighting
a top
games
tier
that came out this year?
fighting game. I don't know how many did come out this year. Because I'm normally quite on top of fighting games, but I think there's a lot of DLC for stuff like Guilty Gear and Street Fighter. Because the weird thing is, like, a fighting game is typically a multi-year game, right? Like, Street Fighter will release, and then they'll update Street Fighter for the next 4 years until they make a new one. And we're still in the process of, like, Street Fighter 6 is still relatively new and getting updates, and it, like, is the top dog currently and probably going to be the top dog for a long time. So yeah, I think there just aren't a ton of high-profile releases this year. I'm checking myself to make sure, but most of the like fighting game releases are arena fighters this year, which is a really different category of fighting games. Where
Different
they're
enough
like
that I
enemy
guess it
fighters.
doesn't count for best fighting game.
Well, none of the arena fighters would win best fighting game anyway, because the nature in
Really?
arena fighter is kind of like it's where they're 3D and you run around. Generally speaking, arena fighters are mostly ways for the team to show off the animations of the characters, which is why they're often used for anime fighting games. Like there was a Bleach one, there's a Hunter x Hunter one, there's JoJo's
I
ones.
I was really excited for the Hunter one, and from what I've
It
heard, it
wasn't
didn't
great.
do
It
too
wasn't
well.
great.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the two JoJo ones that I've heard of are both mobile. One came out this year, another's coming out next year, and they're both mobile.
so there is a JoJo's ones. Eyes of Heaven, I think is the name. It is worth
Yeah.
playing, but it's also just like they don't play
So
like
Eyes
fighting
of Heaven
games.
was the one that came out before All Star Battle R that we've played.
Yeah, but
I think.
It's confusing because All Star Battle came out first. All Star Battle R is a remake of All Star Battle or
Oh
remaster of
god
All Star
damn it!
Battle, and Eyes of Heaven came out in the middle, so it's both an older and newer game. Um, but yeah, fighting games are weird. There weren't a ton of like high profile fighting game releases right now, just because of that fact that like most of the set stuff for Evo and whatnot has already been set for this year. Um, so yeah, not a ton of high profile stuff. Oddly enough, I don't really have a horse in this race this year. Usually I have strong opinions about the fighting game category winner, but that's typically because there's an actual like fighting game that I play being released, and Fatal Fury is just not one of the ones that I play. Um, so I don't know. Fatal Fury, gut call, probably should win because it's a new game. But the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is really good. I don't know anything about the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. I imagine it's good. And then the other, like 2XK is a weird one, where it should be eligible for this category, but in the year that it releases, not in the year that it's in early access. All right, moving on from best fighting, we have best RPG. This category is going to be a bloodbath this year.
Oh boy!
Nominees are
I
Avowed, Player Obscure Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Outer Worlds 2.
Player Obscure is going to win. Moving on.
Yeah, God, I wish
there's some
Avowed could
really
get
good
this,
games here,
but
but
as much as I love it, it has.
I wish Kingdom Come could.
Like honestly, every one of these games is worth playing. I love
I would
Expedition
kind of
33.
argue that
Expedition
Monster Hunter
33
Wilds
is my pick.
isn't an RPG.
I mean, it's a game where you're collecting stuff. You don't make choices. That's the only lack of an RPG thing. But I would still say it's an RPG series. But it is odd that it's here in lieu of another big RPG. Because I do feel like there were probably enough big RPGs this year to have put another one there.
Didn't Tainted Grail reach 1.0 this year?
Yes, yeah. I
Where
probably
the fuck is that?
Released.
Put that in instead of Monster Hunter. But like all the games that are here are good. I think personally my picks would be either Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 or Outer Worlds 2. Even though Play Obscure is my personal game of the year, I think the RPG systems in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 are the most fun of this bunch. It's such a cool system. And Outer Worlds 2, I just like first-person RPGs, and Outer Worlds 2 has just been clicking for me in a way that Avowed didn't. I don't know why. I've just really been enjoying it. So
people are gonna. I don't really. I haven't been following up with the discourse of the nominees because I've been very busy recently. But man, I feel like people are going to be pissed that Avowed is here, given how tepid to negative their reception has been for Avowed.
I think that might just be our internet bubble.
But
I don't know that that's the general audience of people.
I enjoy that game. I don't know.
It's good. It's fun. It has, like I said, it has its shortcomings. It's not.
I mean, I like it. I like it, but you know.
Yeah, it definitely has had the most. I mean, maybe it and Monster Hunter Wilds have had kind of mixed reactions online. I know Wilds has had some pretty negative PC reception just because the performance patch that they've been working on for the year has been pushed to next year. So people are a little upset about that.
And it's bad because it was kind of an early release in terms of the year overall, so that's not a great look.
Yeah. I don't know. I expect this is going to come down to Clair Obscur and Kingdom Come. That to me are the two games that are probably most vying for this category. My personal pick of the two would probably be Deliverance 2, just because I think it is, as an RPG alone, more fitting to the classical definition of RPG. But that's a stretch, right? Like, I'm not going to be upset if any one of these games wins. I'll be happy for any of them.
I don't feel super strongly about the RPG category this year. As I explained before, I've had a bit of a falling out with this genre over the course of the year. The one I've played the most is Monster Hunter Wilds, I guess. So I guess I'd go with that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I don't know. I played a bit of Avowed. I thought it was good. Bit of Outer Worlds. I thought it was good. I liked what I played of Clair Obscur, but I'm finding it
Kind of burnt
hard
out on
to.
RPGs right now.
I'm very burnt out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. One thing I'm not surprised isn't here, Bloodlines 2.
Hey, I
Oh.
just started playing this game, but it's incredibly good. Where's a Digimon story Time Stranger? That game.
Oh.
Actually,
great.
you know what? I do have a bone to pick. Where's Inazuma?
God, is that an RPG?
Yeah, it's a
Besides-
JRPG.
Are there decisions to be made?
I mean, it's not decisions, but
JRPG.
it's in the sense of a JRPG being an RPG. Like Clair Obscur, there is maybe one
Yeah.
choice,
You know what?
charitably, but
You know what though?
JRPG.
Here's what I throw into here, and Ryan, I'm a little surprised you haven't talked about it yet. Let's throw Fantasy Life I in there. Why not?
oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess it's because I typically think of Best RPG as being a more narrative-focused category than Fantasy Life is as a game, but it is a great RPG.
Monster Hunter's not that narrative focused.
But it makes the attempt. So, like, Monster Hunter Wilds has a full, 40-hour story.
Let me tell you this. I've played both this and Fantasy Life a Fair Deal. I was way more invested in what was going on in Fantasy Life than I was Monster Hunter.
I liked Monster Hunter Wilds story, but I like that series, so... Look.
I honestly would have replaced Monster Hunter with Fantasy Life.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I can't really complain about this category too much. I think this all makes a lot of sense. The only thing that you can maybe mention is Oblivion Remaster.
I'm surprised it's not here. I was actually about to say that.
That's one.
Given-
It's the
Again,
exact same
I
mechanics and
only-
everything, though.
I only
right,
say that
like-
because they're so comfortable putting other HD remasters or
Yeah.
remakes.
That's
up
why I
here.
mention it, because Tactics Evil East was on here, so I get the sense they're okay with it. But yeah, this was a good year for RPGs, and I get why Oblivion's not here, even though it's the best RPG ever made, and nothing will ever touch it. Moving on, Best Action Adventure, and this is going to be another category that I think is a little bit weird. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Hollow Knight Silksong, Indiana Jones and the Great
fuck.
Circle, and Split Fiction.
I
Oh, come on. This is
I
hard.
personally voted for the only game in this category that I played, but I feel like from what I know of all these games, this is a hell of a lineup.
Yeah, and I think the only reason I'm mostly okay with this category is that they also have a Best Action category, so I'm not upset about the more actiony things not being here. I think for me, legitimately, I think the game that I'd put here, caveating that I haven't played Ghost of Yotei yet, and I'm very much looking forward to it, but I have played everything else on this list. Not to completion, but I've played over 100 hours of Death Stranding 2. That game's phenomenal. As an adventure, super weird. The structure of Death Stranding 2 it has all the pacing problems of the first game and maybe worse.
I would say it's
Pacing
worse.
But
problems.
the
I think you
gameplay
mean-
itself is way better. So it's good.
Yeah,
It just I think it is too long. Ghost of Yotei I'm tremendously looking forward to. I don't know if the people that have played more of it here.
Can't wait for you to
I'm-
play more of it, Ryan. And I
I've been
absolutely
really-
say that you take Wyatt's advice on the order to tackle things in.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying Yotei as well. I'm really trying to finish it before the end of the year so I can have more of a say, but it's very good.
It hurts to know that because I got a physical copy, I'm not going to be able to play it until January. It's my
I have
physical
gotten-
copies in California, so I just can't
I-
until I get back.
I've gotten to chapter
no.
3. I am horrified of what decision they're gonna make me make at the end of this game.
All right.
You know what though? I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm loving Ghost of Yotei a lot, but I would say the one that fits the action adventure like
I think you're about to say
genre
what I was
the
about to say.
best.
I very much agree with you.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
This
absolutely.
game is
We're all in agreement here.
rad.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I think this
Oh,
that's what I
category
voted for as
exists
well.
for Indiana Jones.
We are
100%.
so in sync.
Um,
crazy.
It is, to me, it is like the definition of action adventure.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I think this is a good example of like when we say there are certain games that maybe are not as good as other games on the list, like, or not even as good, but our preference. Like I think I'm probably gonna enjoy Ghost of Yotei and Hollow Knight Silksong more than Indiana Jones, just because they're more my speed. But Indiana
Mhm.
Jones is the definition of this category, and I think should win because of that. And it's great.
And that's
Like,
also
it's a very very good
that's
game.
the thing. And not to say that it's only that we'd only pick it because it's best representative of the category. It's also just an incredibly well-made video
Yeah.
game.
And also,
in
I
its
think
own
Split
way.
Fiction deserves to be here. I don't think it's better than Indiana Jones, but I do think it does deserve to be here, and I'm glad it's in this category.
My
Absolutely.
prediction is that Split Fiction will not win this category, but it will likely win something like multiplayer.
I hope it
totally.
wins multiplayer. And then I would say either Yotei or Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I could see anything except for Split Fiction winning this category and it being totally understandable. I think the top three are definitely Yotei, Silksong, and Indiana Jones. They're very good. And yeah, Silksong absolutely deserves to be there. It's great.
100%.
Very
100%.
hard, very good.
How
moving
much
on.
of
Unless
and
there's other
I-
games we want to add.
I'll say this too. We usually have an issue with action adventure, and it's kind of a confused category. This is probably the best selection for
This is a
action
good pick.
adventure.
Yeah,
in
even
a
Death Stranding 2,
long
which is
time.
like maybe an odd pick, but not even really. Like I totally get why it's here, despite not really being like a combat.
it's adventure action.
Yeah, like it's maybe a flip of the two, right? But it deserves to be there. I think there's a lot of other games that came out this year that kind of fit in this category, but I think this is definitely a good selection. Bizarrely, I think another appropriate one here would have probably been Borderlands 4 in a weird way.
I forgot that game
Like,
came out.
I think
Yeah.
maybe that fits in this one.
I was kind of considering putting it up in the RPG category somewhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it needs a little bit more focus on story to be an RPG fully, or like to be in that category. But I think action adventure it fits with the
Yeah,
structure of
absolutely.
Borderlands 4. And I'm kind of surprised it's not here because I think it is probably the best Borderlands game. Yeah, it's super fun.
Which might be a hot take, but
Yeah, it might be a hot
but I
take.
agree with you.
Yeah,
I also agree with you.
Borderlands 2 is good. I think 4 is more fun to play moment to moment, pretty much across the game.
2 has not aged well. In
What
the
about
gameplay
3, you
department.
guys?
I like 3. I can't stand it whenever anyone opens their fucking mouth, but I
Yeah.
enjoy the gameplay.
All right. I also forgot to mention Best RPG. I'm surprised no mention of Trails in the Sky. The remake of Trails in the Sky. I get it not being nominated because I do think it's a very slow start and it's a very long game. That's also the start of a trilogy. And so, you know what? I've kind of talked myself out of it. I get why it's not there. But it's
I do
very
have
good.
a question for you, and I hate to stay on RPG again, but I do have a question for you. Do you think something like a tactics RPG could also be in Best RPG, or should that be relegated?
I
to
think
strategy?
specifically in the case of a game like Ivalice, yes. Because it is structured like an RPG, just using tactics as the combat.
Okay.
I think that's a per game thing, though. Like, you can definitely tell when a game is not appropriate for that category. I think Ivalice would have made more sense in that category than the strategy category, because they mix it with Sim too much. But moving on, from Best Action Adventure to Best Action, is for Best Game in the Action genre, focused primarily on combat. We have Battlefield 6, Doom: The Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi: Art of Vengeance.
This is a good fucking lineup.
Yeah, it's a good
Ninja
lineup.
Gaiden 4.
This is a good fucking lineup.
And it's weird too, because like normally I have a problem when they include shooters in this as like a main thing, but I get it this year because I think both Battlefield 4 and Doom: The Dark Ages. Doom: The Dark Ages is basically a character action game where you're shooting instead of combo. In a weird way.
Yeah.
Battlefield 6 also has like a flow to the combat that feels very much like an action game in a bizarre way. But yeah, I think there's a bunch of good games here. I think pretty unequivocally for me, the winner is Hades 2. Um,
100%.
and I'm saying that as someone who loves Platinum games and likes Ninja Gaiden 4 a lot. I think Hades 2 is like far and away the best game in this category. And it's weird too because like I did not like Hades 1's combat as much as I like Hades 2, but I think Hades 2 just has the right amount of stuff going on and the great boon design. Every run feels really meaningfully different, and it has the best weapon in any game, which is swarm missiles. And I can't look at it here and see it having swarm missiles and not give it to it.
And to
Um,
be fair, I haven't played Ninja Gaiden 4 yet, and I also haven't played Shinobi, even though I do want to check that out. It looks really cool. I think this is also a situation where Hades 2 is like one of the best in its genre, so it's kind of hard to compare
yeah,
to the other games here.
it's sort of both. The only change I might make, I would probably swap Battlefield 6 for Absalom. Um,
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think as much as I like Battlefield 6, I would put Absalom in, or maybe Borderlands also makes sense, but I think that probably fit better in action adventure. Bizarrely this year,
Yeah, I agree.
the
I
best
agree.
action. So yeah, I would put Absalom in this, just because that game is utterly phenomenal and
Yeah.
absolutely worth playing.
It would be the best roguelike of the year if Hades 2 hadn't come out
Yeah,
and also
legitimately.
fixed its
Like I
ending.
think both of those are in contention for best roguelike. Yeah, it's a great game. So
Yeah.
Absalom, I'm surprised it didn't get more recognition here because it's from a team that's gotten accolades at the Game Awards before. So
Yeah,
kind of
I'm actually
surprising to
really
not see it here.
frustrated that I'm kind of frustrated that I don't think it's anywhere. I don't
Yeah, we'll
think.
see when we get to indies if it's in the indie list. But okay, moving on. Best VR AR. This is another category that we don't have a lot of points on. I think even I'm typically our VR representative. I haven't played a lot of VR games this year aside from my standard like Beat Saber routine.
So
Um,
technically speaking, I've played Alien Rogue Incursion, but the non-VR version.
Yeah, let's go through the nominees: Alien Rogue Incursion, Arcane Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool VR, and The Midnight Walk. Um, I haven't played any of these. The one that I'm most interested in is Ghost Town, which is a very cool like puzzle-solving adventure game that looks awesome. Like everything I've seen of Ghost Town looks really really fun, and I very much want to play it, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. Um, but nothing else here
I
has really
own
screamed my name.
Alien, and someday I will report back about its quality, but I do not have a headset that is good enough to run it right now.
Yeah,
Alex, I can't express to you how much I need to know if the AI for the xenomorphs in the VR version is better, and it's just the non-VR version that got fucked. I need to know that.
if it feels good at the VR version.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, not much else I would add to this. I think this is a good set of nominees from what I know about the VR games that are coming out this year. All of these look fun, but I haven't played them, so no thoughts. Moving on, best mobile game, and this is a weird year because I actually have played some mobile games this year. Bizarrely, Destiny Rising, Phantom Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Musume, Pretty Derby, and Wuthering Waves. Uh,
Oh, I forgot that was a
I
mobile game.
think the winner of this is going to be Uma Musume. I don't think it's in question. I
I've
think
never
what
heard of Uma Musume.
I'm
I've never
doing
heard of
my
it.
part.
Uma
It's
Musume has done numbers, Wyatt. I'm stunned. It's the horse girl racing game.
Oh, I think someone explained it exactly like that
Yeah,
to me.
it's incredibly popular.
Hmm.
it's a very strange game gameplay wise, but it is a lot of fun. And the anime is pretty good, depending on which one you watch. If you watch Cinderella Grey, it's really good. If you watch season 1 of the regular anime, it's fine,
Just
but it
fine.
gets better.
Um, yeah, I don't really have a ton of thoughts on these games. I am actually interested in playing Destiny Rising just because I've heard it's pretty good comparatively.
Hey, it has sparrow racing and clan housing
It's got a lot of things that people
in
have
the
wanted
game that
for Destiny to
yeah.
have. My thing with Destiny Rising is I just don't like FPS games on mobile ever. Like,
Yeah, there's
I want the
that.
thumbsticks.
Also the fact of it's a gotcha game in Destiny, so I couldn't imagine a more FOMO combination.
Yeah. And that's generally my thing with the mobile game category. Like, aside from Uma Musume, and I don't know Sonic Rumble or Persona, I imagine Persona works pretty well because it's turn-based, but Sonic Rumble, not sure how it plays. Uma Musume, I think, would probably work pretty well on mobile just because of the way that it is. It doesn't really rely on, like, fast input the same way that, like, Wuthering Waves or Destiny Rising do. Wuthering Waves, I really like the gameplay. The story's atrocious. Specifically, the translation is real bad. But the actual combat in that game is, I think, like head and shoulders above Genshin. But it's still like a gacha action game, so I don't really play. I played it for a little bit and then was like, I can't keep up with this and stopped. Um, so yeah, I think Uma Musume is probably going to win. There's not a ton else I would put here for this year specifically. The one mobile game that I've been playing a lot of in my free time is Halls of Torment, which is a very cool vampire survivors like inspired by Diablo 1 and 2, where you like go around and it blasts a bunch of things on your phone and it's very fun. It's a very good game to play on your phone.
Honestly, the only mobile game that I've been playing, and it didn't come out this year, so this isn't really a relevant tangent at all. But I've been playing Timberman, which is just you tap left or right to cut this tree and not get hit by branches.
That is
But
great.
your health bar slowly lowers over time, and the only way to raise it is to keep chopping wood, and it gets faster and faster, and it's really good. That's all I have to say on mobile games right now.
All right. Any other mobile game thoughts before we
Um, the mobile game that I pretty much the only mobile game that I play at this point, that I've come back to a bit, the Fire Emblem Heroes mobile game. They just did at the end of their like ninth storybook they released. They did a massive thing that essentially is, and this is from the people who write like the lore for the other games as well. They've essentially put the god of all the Fire Emblem games, the reason for every canonical event happening, as a mobile original character.
Nice. Right. Moving on to best debut indie game. This is an interesting category because there are 4 nominees, but there were 5. Nominees are Blueprints, Clair Obscur Expedition 33,
Ooh.
Despelote, Dispatch, and Megabonk was a nominee, but the creator,
That's right.
Vetinad, said they have made games before under a different name, which a lot of people online had guessed because it's kind of an anagram of another indie studio's name, so they figured it was probably the same person doing a different thing. Megabonk, also great. Very good game. Deserves flowers, even though it isn't on this Game Awards list anymore. Uh, the rest of these, I can't argue with any
Holy
of them.
shit.
This is a stacked category.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Expedition 33 is probably going to win. I think my personal pick here
look.
would probably be Blueprints.
Expedition 33 is going to win Game of the Year, so I have to pick Blueprints here because it's the other one I've
I
played.
kind of have the same logic.
Because
And it's
Blueprints
also
is phenomenal. If I played Dispatch, I think it would be a lot closer between Blueprints and Dispatch.
That's where I am
Yeah.
as well. I voted for the one that I had played significantly. I'm dying to play Dispatch, but I have not picked it up yet. So
yeah,
I'm
this is an interesting
trying
one.
to only
so-
vote for games that I have a fully formed opinion on, which ironically is kind of skewing it only to games I've played. And that's why they make it so only 10% is based on
the
user votes.
audience vote. Yep. Despelote is a game that I actually picked up but haven't played yet, and I'm very interested in. So I totally get why it's here. I'm looking forward to playing it when I get a chance. The other 3 I finished. I have fully finished Dispatch, Blueprints, and Expedition 33. Dispatch, phenomenal, great game. I do think there's not actually that much game to it. In a weird way, where it's mostly the choice making stuff, which is always the Telltale kind of MMO, even though this is ad hoc and Telltale, but it's a lot of Telltale veterans. So I think it makes sense.
Which is why I feel like it fits more in debut indie game than really any other like really gameplay focused category.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. I'm looking forward to season 2 or whatever they do next. If they're making a Critical Role thing at some point. But
I'm assuming, if I remember correctly, this was in like the narrative category, which I think it would be a much stronger contender for, just because that's less based on the gameplay and more on the
Yes.
story. My hope is that even though I didn't finish it, my hope is that Blueprints wins, just because I hope it gets some kind of recognition at the show.
Blueprints
Because
is
of
like one of the best designed puzzle games I've ever played.
Yeah.
And absolutely deserves to win in its category. I think like there's not a lot else unless there was a best puzzle category, which sometimes there is, but I don't think there is this year. I think I really hope Blueprints wins this, and I also think Expedition 33, Sandfall is a debut studio. I don't know that they count as debut developers because it's a studio assembled from a lot of veterans.
Well, you could make the same argument for Dispatch.
But yeah, like it's a weird one for both games. It's kind of why I don't get the debut indie category in general. Though I get why it exists because
I feel like
more
some
indie games should get
some
awards,
years it really has like a game that really shines for this category, and I'm not sure if any of these are
my specific
really
like
fresh devs.
issue with debut indie is having debut indie and then best independent game, and some of the games from debut indie not being in best independent game, and the overlap. It's just like, oh, well, you're not as good as these. So that always feels weird to me, even though I know that's not the intention. Any other best debut indie picks that would go up here from anyone?
I'm trying to think. It's kind of a difficult. It's kind of a difficult qualifier because I'm trying to remember. Like, well, this was an indie game, but is it a debut studio? I don't remember. So I'm trying to rack my brain.
I'm checking if this is the debut
Look,
studio.
I know. I just know that Ryan, we've got to revisit Blueprints at some point, because where you and I have gotten to, there are apparently 3 more milestones until you have quote unquote finished the game.
We finished
Not
the story.
completed.
I went further by a fair bit, and then I started hitting the level of puzzle that was like, I need to start doing research, and I'm like, okay, I gotta chill. Which is great that it's in the game, and I'm glad that I was able to finish it without that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Blueprints is very cool. Okay, moving to best independent game.
Is Noja? Genoja? Oh God, what was that game? Is that a debut?
Noja is not from this year. Noja is like a 5-year-old game. Yeah, not a this year game. I think Noja actually did win some awards when it came out. Best independent game, and why we got our wish. Absalom is one of the nominees for this.
Oh, thank fucking God!
So yeah, very glad to see it getting a nomination. The nominees for this: Absalom, Ball Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and Hades 2. Phenomenal category. I have and Silk Song. It was on a lower level. Phenomenal category. No complaints about the nominees. This is a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fucked up. This is fucked up.
This is crazy.
Now, I think we're gonna save this whole discussion. I think this is an entire episode's worth of a discussion. But I do want to point something out. Best independent game, right? Look at all of the games here.
Publishers.
Yeah. Now that gets into the conversation of, is an indie game, does that mean that it is literally as in independently developed, or does that kind of signify its budget?
See, so I'm now at the point where I kind of agree with Jeff Keighley's statement on this, which is that a lot of these games, we've kind of moved to the point where the independent game label, the way that it used to exist, just doesn't apply anymore. Because typically speaking, unless you're already successful, like Supergiant and Team Cherry, you cannot afford to not have a publisher. And there are publishers that will pick up promising indie games without a ton of cost a lot of the time. So unless we make the active choice to like exclude any game that has a publisher relationship, which is just weird and not necessarily a great thing to do.
Not to mention kind of the opposite way here too, where like I don't think anyone at this point would really argue that Witcher 4 is an indie game.
Yeah, like you can take that argument in both directions, and it's stupid in both ways, right? So
which is why Clair Obscur is such a bizarre situation, because it, technically speaking, fulfills both things of like, it does have
especially because Kepler is a weird publisher where they own part of Kepler because it's a co-op, and now So it's even more muddied. I don't think it's a thing we can cover in just talking about this, but in
No,
general,
no.
I think what we need now is a more separation of like the single A slash indie to double A to triple A. And I think the way to do that is just Jeff Keighley needs to give us definitions.
I
Because
think what
like
we need
I
is a
could make
part
the
3 of our Claire Obscure
because like you could
videos.
make the argument that Claire Obscure, I'm gonna throw in Absalom and Hades are double A games. I feel like you could kind of make that
Yeah, but
argument.
the thing is, I don't think I don't think that argument necessarily succeeds solely based on the like again the team sizes of the people involved and the staffing and all that. Like there is a clear delineator from a AAA studio to the studios that worked on these games.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
it's also very much true that like when people say only 30 people worked on Expedition 33, very much not true. It was many more than that, and many of them were contractors and localizers. But like, does that matter when we're figuring or talking about an indie category? I don't know. I don't think we're the ones to debate that. When Jeff Keighley's already done it, he's already put these here for us to compare, and so
Also,
we
I
must
feel like
compare.
I feel like the description for best indie game does not help clear the waters.
Yeah, for outstanding creative and technical achievements in a game made outside the traditional publisher system is weird because it doesn't define what the traditional publisher system is. It's the kind
Yeah.
of thing where like you're putting a thing there, but you need to then define the term that you're using. So, yeah, we always have issues with how this category is laid out. In general, I think this is a good set of nominees. I don't think
Yes.
there's a world in which Claire Obscure does not win this. Which like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm conflicted over that because I think Ball Pit is fantastic and is probably my personal favorite indie game from this year. But then I think about Claire Obscure again. And I'm like, well, that's not true. It's Claire Obscure. So I think this is probably a category that is going to get swept by Claire Obscure on the path to potentially getting Game of the Year. Um,
What do you mean potential? It is gonna get game of the
I see
year.
potential because it's not. We don't know yet, right? But I think I agree with you. I think it is going to be Game of the Year. I think it deserves Game of the Year. Moreover, that
Not saying that it doesn't
um,
deserve it. I'm just saying there's no way that it doesn't. I
it's
will.
weird because like normally when we're looking at Game of the Year nominees, we write off the indie games, right? Like typically the indie games are not the Game of the Year nominees, aside from one that gets like a nod. Um,
Yeah.
but this year, I think it's pretty clear that like the front runner is an indie game, um, which means we're staring down the barrel of this being like the main game that we're considering, and that means in prior years we could easily make a justification for like, oh well, Ghost of Tsushima isn't up for Game of the Year, even though I don't think it won. Whatever game is up for Game of the Year, God of War, but it isn't as good as this other action game. So like I can see a world where this other action game wins that category, but God of War still wins Game of the Year, right?
Yeah.
In a category called Best Independent Game, if the Game of the Year nominee or winner does not also win Best Independent Game, why was it the Game of the Year? Right? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think intrinsically this category has to go to Expedition 33 if it wins Game of the Year, unless they decide to arbitrarily change it or there's some behind the scenes about like what Best Indie Game means. Um, which is a shame because this year, more than many other years, we've had a lot of indie games that I think are hugely impressive. The fact that we're talking about like best indie game and there are Hades 2 and Silksong are in the same conversation and we're thinking of neither one of them winning is crazy, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a really wacky category.
As someone who has barely scratched the surface of Clair Obscure, and that is not to say that I disliked it and put it down. As I've said, my weird thing with RPGs this year, mine's Hades 2. Because it is like the best roguelike like
Yeah.
ever made.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. And again, that's the context of having not played Clair Obscure. Followed closely behind by Absalom, which I think
Yeah.
is more overlooked this year than it should be, and that makes me really sad.
Yep. No, this is the category where like I'm not upset if any of these games win. If I had to rank them, it would probably be Expedition 33, Blueprints, Hades 2, Solemn, Ball Pit, and Silksong in that order. But it's so close together. It doesn't make a difference. Like the minimum on that is just so long as I haven't finished it yet, and most of the others I've gotten much further in. But yeah, good
I voted
category, a lot of good
for
games.
I voted for Blueprints because I like it, but
Hey,
I think
best
Clear
answer.
Obscure deserves it.
Yep.
Which is why I think I voted it Game of the Year.
All right, I'm going to move us on to keep the pace going because we got a lot of games to talk about still. Best community support. So this is recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media and game updates and patches. This is always the weirdest category because it's inclusive of a bunch of stuff that's not in the game. Nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky. This is a weird one. Like, normally I'm all for Final Fantasy in this category, but this has been the most negative year of Final Fantasy 14 community support, I would say. So this shouldn't be here. Not the fault of Square Enix necessarily, but just like the opinion of the current expansion isn't great, and so kind of waiting for the next one, people are a little bit negative comparatively.
Can I throw my 2 cents into the mix here? I'm just gonna say, from what I understand, they keep adding subclasses and stuff to Baldur's Gate. That's pretty cool. I do not follow Final Fantasy or Fortnite, and Helldivers, whatever. I've been hearing mostly good things. No Man's Sky has released 3 absolutely game-changing updates this year. That's not even all of the updates that they've released this year, but of all of the like 4 or 5 updates that they've released, 3 of them have been genuinely game-changing.
We got
and
basically
like
Starfield shipbuilding. Like,
we got Starfield shipbuilding. We got absolutely crazy updates to world generation and all of the new features and stuff like that. To me, it's a clear choice.
So
personally,
I normally would agree. Normally, No Man's Sky I think is the best in this category. There's one big problem this year. No Man's Sky's patches. So we all remember the period where No Man's Sky came out and then they went radio silent for 2 years, basically, to fix it.
Mhm.
Probably a good choice. Definitely. I wouldn't have given them an award for community support that time. No Man's Sky has been sending patches out weeks late for the Nintendo Switch 2 version, which was advertised as having parity. And the Nintendo Switch version never got Corvettes, despite them not mentioning anything about it discontinuing support, and they still have sent so in a category that's best community support, I can't vote for it this year just because of that. Like, it's weird that they are not mentioning these things that, like, just it's okay to end support for the Switch 1. It's an old console. I don't think we're going to be that mad, but you have to say it, right?
With the negative swings you put on both 14 and No Man's Sky for this, I think one of the games that I would add to this category, and one that I've seen, like the usual, typical amount of online stink about is I would probably put Warframe in here.
Yeah, for sure.
Continued support.
Sure.
But it's been said a lot that Warframe typically flies under the radar for
well, it's weird because normally Warframe is here. I'm betting it got replaced by like Baldur's Gate for this year for some reason, but it is surprising that Warframe's not here. I'm gonna throw out another weird one, and this is the one where I have to do the caveat of, hey, I work for Blizzard. This is my opinion, not Blizzard related. But I put WoW here this year for sure because WoW's had an incredible year, all things considered, in community support categories. So yeah,
it's better than it has been in years.
It's been like the best year in WoW's almost history, I would say. But people are very positive on it right now. Same thing in best ongoing as well, which we're going to get to in a second. I'm surprised it's not here, considering things like housing are coming that have been so desired for a very long time. That I'm tremendously excited to play when I get the chance to. All right, moving on from that to keep the pace going to best ongoing. These are awarded to games for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Nominees are Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. This is the one that No Man's Sky should win.
You know what? You've convinced me. I actually agree 100%. I did forget about that.
I do agree with you because No Man's Sky had a lot. I had voted for Marvel Rivals simply because first off, I like the game, but they have been like just cranking out characters. Maybe cranking out and Marvel Rivals shouldn't be in the same sentence, but
oh no, they absolutely should be.
Yeah, but I don't know. They compared to Overwatch 2 was probably the closest comparison of any game I can think of, and they're putting out like good characters consistently at a way faster rate than something like Overwatch 2 has been. So that's why I
Marble
voted for
Rose
it.
is an odd one for me because I did really like it at the start and then just kind of fell off for no reason. And actually went back to playing Overwatch 2 afterwards.
To be honest, because it released in December last year, so I'm a little surprised that doesn't have more representation here because it would have been past the cutoff date last
Oh
year.
yeah, you're right. Unless they did the weird thing they did for 2XKO where they nominated it early.
Which they might have.
I don't think they did, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Yeah, no, I think No Man's Sky gets this one. I think Fortnite also makes sense. Like I always say with Fortnite, of like the pace of Fortnite's content development is really impressive, even though I don't play it very much. I'll occasionally check out and play the new music.
They just had an event that was a Simpsons, Godzilla, Kong, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja
I'm gonna
Turtles,
cut this tangent off before it happens.
Power
and get us
Rangers
moving.
crossover.
It's insane, and it's Fortnite.
You have to
but we gotta
literally
move
name
on.
50% of all fiction. We will be here forever.
All right. Moving on, unless anyone has thoughts on Best Ongoing, aside from what we said, to Games for Impact for thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. I got some props this year. They actually gave it a description that I understand. Normally, this category doesn't get a good description, but this time I get it. The nominees are Consume Me, Despelote, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wanderstop. This is a subcategory of things, basically, that I have been meaning to play but haven't yet. Aside from South of Midnight, which was very good. But Lost Records, Bloom and Rage has been on my list for a while. I've heard it's very good. Despelote I own and have been just not played yet. Wanderstop is very much on my list. I know a few people that work on that game. Consume Me is the only one I haven't heard of here, but they all seem great, so I won't be upset no matter what wins, I think.
I really like South of Midnight. I'm glad it's getting some kind of representation. As I said when we talked about this for Game Pass, I think in the script there's a lot of ideas that they don't quite nail down that I wish they would have.
Mm-hmm.
And so in terms of what fits the category best, I'm sure of the other 4 nominees that are here, they probably do a better job of taking it home in terms of their messaging, kind of getting a home run in that aspect, but I do really like South of Midnight.
All right. Any other thoughts on Games for Impact? Nope. Moving on. All right. Innovation and accessibility. This is recognizing software and hardware that has pushed the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. Nominees are Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom: The Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and South of Midnight. And yeah, I don't know in depth the accessibility features of all these games, but off of my gut, I want to say Assassin's Creed Shadows because Ubisoft always puts an incredible effort into their accessibility.
Yep.
And Shadows is no different for that, but I think a lot of these games did, so no strong opinions here from me.
Same.
Will say I'm happy with South of Midnight's settings because as much as I really like the sort of stop motion aesthetic that the game has, if I wasn't able to shut that off, I would not be able to play the game.
For sure, totally.
Everything in this category is gonna be under the shadow of Last of Us 2, that had so many accessibility features that you could literally play that game blind.
All right, moving on to our best performance category, and man, what a unique category! With a third of the nominees, or almost, a third of the nominees being Expedition 33. So Ben Starr for playing in Expedition 33, Charlie Cox for Expedition 33, Erika Ishii for Ghost of Yotei, Jennifer English for Expedition 33. It is half of the nominees for Expedition 33. Konatsu Kato for Silent Hill F, and Troy Baker for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
I wish that this category also put what character they voiced, because I had to look a couple of Expedition 33 ones up.
I wouldn't do that for spoiler reasons.
Oh,
okay, that's fair enough. I just like Jennifer English. I didn't know who she voiced offhand.
So I have
Yeah,
a
no, I
question.
don't think the name of any of these characters are spoilers, but yeah, this is one where I feel like this year more than many years, I think this can go to anybody here. The only nominee that I wish was here that isn't, and this makes the problem worse because it's another Expedition 33 person. Andy Serkis in Expedition 33,
Oh yeah.
I think is one of his best performances ever.
Not just
Mm.
in games.
Not
ever.
just in games. I think he's incredible. I also
I
think
would.
he's better than many of the Expedition 33 people that are here. I like Charlie Cox. I would have put Andy Serkis ahead of Charlie Cox. As much as I like Charlie Cox's Gustav, Andy Serkis does such a good job with his character. I probably even would have put him
So
over Ben Starr, but
so I haven't played Claire Obscure since we did it for our Games Club episode. Um, so I a lot of these people, like, again, I don't know which characters they played. I kind of forget. I think Erika Ishii, for the most part, does a really good job. I think I think she struggles. So there's a lot of flashbacks in Ghost of Yote, and I think she struggles trying to make her voice sound like a young child sometimes. I think as like adult Atsu, she does a great job, but I do think when playing child Atsu, she struggles a little bit. And I feel weird giving it to Troy Baker, not because he doesn't do an incredible job, but he's also the only one here doing an impression of someone
yeah.
else,
Which
and that
sometimes makes
feels
it more impressive, to be
strange.
fair, but it is odd to like
But
give it to him
that's the
on the
thing.
yeah.
It's like it's weird because it's like, it's an impression of someone else, so is that as impressive as, like, kind of making your own character? But at the same
Mhm.
time, he's also doing an impression of an actor that is famously very difficult to impersonate properly, whether in voice or physical mannerisms or whatever it is. So, he picked one of the hardest actors to, like,
And
recreate,
Bullseye.
to give him credit, and
Mm.
absolutely crushed it. Like, I showed my dad the trailer for Indiana Jones, and I didn't tell him who voiced Indiana Jones for a minute, and he was convinced that it was Harrison Ford coming back to
It
do
was
the
like
voice, and
Harrison
I had to
Ford doesn't
explain to
even
him
sound like
afterwards.
that anymore, right? Like,
No, no.
um, yeah, it's impressive, and I also think we talked a lot about everyone else here, but Konatsu Kato for Silent Hill F, voicing the protagonist of a horror game is crazy difficult.
Yeah.
And yeah, big props for her performance there because I think it's really good. Um, but at the same time, I don't know. I'd probably give this to Jennifer English, and that feels weird because she's just doing Jennifer English, but it's really good. I kind of suspect the winner's going to be Charlie Cox, though. I think there might be some star power vote going into Charlie
Mm.
Cox here, even though I won't disagree with it. I do think if he wins it, he deserves it. But so does everyone else on this list. This is a really crazy category
I
this
was gonna
year.
say this is a list where like anybody could get this, and I don't think I'd be surprised.
Usually for
Yeah.
the best performance, there's like a performance that I just don't like, and these are all great. Like, yeah, no issues with any of these. I just wish Andy Serkis was in. Um, okay, best audio design. Battlefield 6, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, and Silent Hill F. This is the only one I don't get why Expedition 33 is here.
I feel like Battlefield 6 from what I've seen you guys play. From
Battlefield
what I've
6
heard
is
you guys play.
phenomenal
Incredible.
soundscape. Death Stranding
Here's
2 as well. I think the sound design of Death Stranding 2 is head and shoulders above the first game.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way that they do like the layered background ambient audio and music is incredible, and I would lump that with sound design and not with score.
From my
Where it
experience,
layers on top of itself and like changes based on your elevation and where you're going. It's great.
with Ghost of Yote, it's good, but nothing really stands out
Yeah.
to me. It's all like
Which is
solid good
I feel
work.
I
the
don't have any
best way
issues with it,
about
but it's just
I
it doesn't
feel
stand out.
I feel the same way about score for Ghost of Yote too, if that ends up being nominated. But they're both they get the job done.
Yeah, I will say Silent Hill F definitely deserves to be here. I don't think I would pick it over Death Stranding 2 or Battlefield 6, but I do think it deserves to be on this list. And I wouldn't be
Even
surprised if it wins.
even with Dice's worst game, I'm going to exclude 2042 because that is an outlier in almost every sense. With almost every Dice project, one thing they never fuck up is sound design. Like just impeccable, crunchy, like incredible use of surround sound. Just such like top of the line stuff every single time. Almost every single time.
All right. Well, moving on to best score in music. And this is this category is a gut punch because
Yeah.
this is one of the ones that I feel strongly about. In that I think Lorien Testard's music for Clair Obscur Expedition 33 should win more than
It
the
has to be
awards.
him.
It should be winning at every award it possibly is eligible for, because it's incredible. And the fact that it's a essentially first time major soundtrack in a published work for Lorien is wild. Like the range of music that is shown. Uh, Listening to the Un Vietname and
Oh my
I
god,
forget the
yeah.
name, but
Favorite song.
two of the songs, they're 12 minutes long. They're 12 minutes long, and it's like a layered soundscape of two people shouting and having an argument over each other in the music, and it is one of the most masterful compositions I've ever listened to. Now, that hurts because Darren Korb's soundtrack is and in no world did I imagine this year that I would be upset if Darren Korb won the score music.
Also, totally forgot to
Pick a
mention, and I can't
side.
believe I forgot to mention this. The fact that nobody from Hades was up for best performance. Like, I get that all of the other nominees were good, but could you have taken
Gideon
out
was
one?
killed it.
Could you have taken out one Clair Obscure person to put in
No,
one person
no,
from
they-
Hades?
I
Come on.
tell you this with complete sincerity, they absolutely could not have taken
You didn't play
any
Hades too. I don't want to hear it from you.
I listened
but I
to see
didn't, I
both of
agree.
you play Hades too.
I think Judy
Whatever.
Osley should have been in for a nominee, but I also
Whatever.
think none of the you can't cut any of the Expedition 33 people. There's a reason 3 of them are up there,
Then
and there should have
cut
been 4.
cut Troy Baker. I don't know. But someone needed to be there, goddammit.
Yeah, so excluding Expedition 33, I'm going to treat it as if it doesn't exist for what I'm about to say, because if I say anything about the music, it's always now bookended by Expedition 33 did it, is my pick. Everything else is good. Like, I think the Death Stranding 2 soundtrack is incredible.
Yep,
I
agreed.
think it's so well handled. And again, like the layering the music, I would almost attribute that more to audio design, though. I think the way they use it is so impressive compared to even just the score itself, but the way it's utilized in Death Stranding 2 is really incredible. And so I would put that in
Absolutely.
audio design, not in score and music. Ghost of Yote, from the little bit of it that I played, it didn't like super jump out at me, but it wasn't like a bad.
No,
It
it's
gets the job
solid.
done.
It's very good.
It's good.
Yeah, but when I put it next to Christopher Larkin and Darren Korb's stuff in Hollow Knight and in Hades 2, like incredible soundtracks, both of them. This is a really crazy one because the to me it's wild that I have as strong of an opinion as I do about this category because everything is so good in it, but Expedition 33 is.
As the resident Clair Obscure haven't played person,
Yeah, you don't have to have guilt about not picking.
It's Darren Korb. Like, to me, it's
I feel bad.
so easy.
I feel bad
because
for
I
saying
haven't
it's not
played Clair
Darren
Obscure. Listen, I'm sure the Clair Obscure is as good as you're saying. I have no doubts about
well,
that.
speaking of Clair Obscur being as good as we're saying, we're going to move on to Best Art Direction. And
for fuck's sake,
this is
the
for
same
outstanding
fucking people
for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Nominees are Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote,
Here
Hades
we
2, and
go
Hollow Knight Silksong.
again.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say Hades 2 and then get out of Ryan's way.
Good. He'll bulldoze you.
This is a weird one because I actually would give this to Hades 2 as well. I think or Silksong. I even think there's a little bit of me that thinks Death Stranding 2 in a weird way, because just
we-
because of how the
Are we all going
environment
Hades 2
presented.
basically though?
I mean, maybe. Like, so I think Expedition 33 is deserving if it wins this one, but I actually think the art direction of Expedition 33 is not the most impressive of this bunch. I do think it is impressive, but I don't think it is so impressive that it outlies the rest of these like it did for soundtracks for me. Um, because a lot of Expedition 33 they have fantastic assets, but at the same time, by the nature of that game, the things intentionally don't fit together a lot of the time. The art direction is a little bit intentionally very like it's that type of thing where like you throw a bunch of paint onto a canvas and then it's just like it shows up and you're like, oh, that's cool. But it doesn't always form a cohesive thing, if that makes sense. Whereas like Hades 2, every single asset is so good and so like in
Plus,
line with every other asset.
plus, I think the reason, like the rest of it is incredible, but absolutely the reason it's here are the character designs.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
go so fucking hard. It's like I can't properly describe it. If I try to describe Chaos's design to someone, they would think I'm fucking insane until they actually see a picture of it, and then they would fully understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah. I also think Silksong, I haven't played as much of it, but the thing that Silksong has really impressed me with so far is the animations are gorgeous. And the backgrounds, the like backdrops of every area are so layered and so detailed that I could totally see it winning solely on that. So yeah, I think this is another really competitive category. I think Death Stranding 2 is another good pick here where the look of Death Stranding is really iconic, and I think that is art direction, right? Where it looks the way it does because of the art direction, and nothing else looks like it, um, which is very impressive. And Yote I just haven't played enough to make a decision, but Tsushima would have been my pick when Tsushima came out, so I imagine it's great.
It's
Uh,
very good. It's different, and I could see some people not vibing with it as much as Tsushima. But I think I prefer it in Yote in some areas than I do
nice.
Tsushima.
But yeah, in general, this is a category where like I won't be upset no matter who wins. I don't think it's a sweep for Expedition 33 like the other like score will be.
I'd be upset if Hades 2 doesn't win just because of the character designs.
All right,
That's me.
moving on to best narrative.
Well, here we are again.
This is okay.
What was that about it not being a sweep,
Nominees:
Ryan?
Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Silent Hill F. So actually, I'm going to say the only thing here that I would exclude based on what I've played so far is Death Stranding 2. I just think Death Stranding 2's
This
pacing is too bad
I
um,
I
for it
think
to be
this
nominated.
game from
Dude,
what Brett has told me about Silent Hill F, I think this category is a four-way tie.
And yeah, I haven't played
yeah,
Yotei, so I just don't know.
I I think the only, and this isn't the only time I'm going to say this tonight. I think the only reason Death Stranding 2 is here is because Jeff Keighley has such an intense one-way friendship with Kojima.
Yeah,
um,
that's a good point.
I really like put Hades 2 here instead.
I
Put
don't know. I think the ending
fucking,
is the reason Hades 2 wasn't,
but they fixed the ending. To be fair, they fixed the
but it
ending.
didn't release like, and that's when they reviewed it. I think is also a fair point for
I
people coming up with these nominations.
Okay, I would even with the original ending, I would still put Hades 2 there over Death Stranding
Yeah, same.
because it is much higher quality throughout and much better paced than Death Stranding 2.
Although actually, what I would do is replace Death Stranding 2 with Dispatch. I think that's what should be.
Oh shit, wait a minute. Why is it Dispatch here?
Well,
Wait a minute.
Dispatch hadn't fully released by the cutoff.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a
because
good
the last episode
point.
was like November 18th, so maybe it didn't make the
That's a
cutoff.
good
Damn.
that's a good point.
Yeah,
Damn.
if it did, I would have put it here. Silent Hill
Damn.
F, I think, is a really good pick from what I played of it. It's really, really impressive in how it tells the story. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is just like, if you like the storytelling style of the first game or of like any other first-person RPG, it's the best version of that, kind of. Like, I think
Right.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 absolutely deserves to win this. I think Clear Obscure probably will win, and I do think it deserves it, right? Like, I think But I also think it deserves it in the same way that like
This
Kingdom
is-
Come would deserve it if it wins. I don't think it's so
This is
far
the
above
problem.
the others.
There's some of these years where shit just sweeps. Like I expect Expedition 33 will this year. And I
The
just
problem
can't
is, like,
fault it for sweeping because it's damn good.
Generally, I can fault a sweep based on certain things. Like a sweep is just like, well, okay, it won best narrative, but I don't think it actually had as impressive as a narrative as these other games that were nominated. Expedition 33 in every category it's nominated in deserves to win if it does. I don't think it's every category it's a shoe-in, but I think in every category, if it wins, it won't be surprising. And in best narrative, especially, like the storytelling of Expedition 33 is so good. Like, there's a reason we did 2 full episodes on it, because we wanted to talk about the storytelling so much we had to have an entire second 2-hour long discussion. Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of really good stuff there.
What a
Uh,
terrible year to get sick of RPGs.
The only
Jesus
thing
Christ.
like I feel like should be here is Dispatch. I think definitely deserved a spot here. Um, but aside from that, I think the other nominees are all great. Okay. Moving on, Best Game Direction. This is a very similar set of nominees. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on Reach, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, Split Fiction. This is a weird one this year. Normally, I feel very strongly about game direction. I don't know that I do this time around.
Oh,
Maybe I get why Expedition 33 is here because of the way that it like really focuses on that turn-based loop and brings the action turn-based combat back. I get why Hades 2 is here. I get why Split Fiction's here. Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding 2, not as much. Makes sense. But again, I haven't played Ghost of Yotei enough to know. So
Yeah, Ghost of Yotei is a weird pick. Part of me really wants to give it to Split Fiction just because of how well it incorporates its co-op mechanics.
yeah, it's also
Um,
kind of bizarre. This is a category I would almost swap Death Stranding 2 for Arc Raiders in a bizarre twist. I think.
Interesting.
Well, I
Explain
think
yourself.
the like design direction choices of Arc Raiders are made it what it is, and what it is so
Sure.
fascinating. Even if it's not what I prefer, like I respect the decisions that were made. Though I also fully dislike that they use AI stuff so much. So
That should exclude it from this category.
yeah, specifically
almost
performances as
immediately.
well, which yeah is the thing that would hit game direction for me, is relying on that stuff.
Because
But
as
yeah,
much as as much as I do want to give it to Hades 2, it is also a sequel, which game direction as a category in sequels is always kind of a strange tug of war in a way. Not that sequels can't win it, but it's to what degree does it build on the original where it can kind of be nominated for that, if
yeah.
that makes sense.
You know what? I think there's a couple of games I would top out here. Death Stranding 2 becomes. I just had it up and forgot the name as soon as I looked at it. Uh, how did I lose this immediately? Oh no! It
Oh,
was such a good pick too.
oh no.
Where is it? Well, we'll say the second one first while I find the first one. Death Stranding 2 needs to become Road to Empress. Because Road to Empress
oh,
is one of the craziest directed
that
games I've
one.
ever seen, and it's so much fun. I won't say anything else. Go look up a playthrough if you're curious about that game. It's great. And then I think we could also add in. I wish Skate Story had come out already, because I think it would be a shoe-in. Oh yeah, here it is. Digimon Story Time Stranger.
Mm.
I would swap for like Hades 2 or something.
Hell yeah, brother! That game is rad.
Legitimately, like,
I don't have more
surprised.
to add to that. I mean, it's a damn good game.
There's not a lot of categories I
Um,
would put it in, but I do think it would fit in this one.
there's two that I'm thinking of that might be a bit of a strange pick, and I don't know if anyone would agree with me. The first I'm thinking of is Absalom, just because of how well it incorporates a beat 'em up genre into the
Yeah,
roguelike
I would almost swap
structure.
Hades 2 for that, right? It's because it's a
Um,
different thing.
the other one that I'd put up here is actually Donkey Kong Bonanza because of how well it incorporates its destruction
Yeah,
into the game design.
those are good picks. If Air Riders had come out, Air Riders should be here as well. Okay. Any other thoughts for best game direction?
I'd also throw Indiana Jones in there as well.
Awesome. All right. Let's move on to Game of the Year, the big one for all the cake. We have Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding
Yes.
2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This is another one where everything except for Death Stranding 2, totally good if it wins. I won't be
Okay,
mad if Death Stranding 2 wins, but I do
I would be
think
mad if Death
it should.
Stranding 2 wins.
I
I
think it
would.
is significantly the worst of these nominees.
I've been thinking about
Despite
this,
liking
right?
it a lot, but
I've been thinking about this. A sentiment that I've seen online a lot is that a lot of people are saying that Bonanza is here just because Nintendo is guaranteed a category every year. I have a strong belief that a large percentage of the people that say that have not played Bonanza and they don't
no, Bonanza's
understand
awesome.
how fucking good this game is. I think this deserves to be here much more than Death Stranding 2. There's so many other games that we've talked about during this episode that I think deserves to be here. I don't hate Death Stranding 2 at all. I think it's a very fun game, but I don't think it's as nearly as well rounded as the other picks here or some of the other stuff that have been passed over. I would have replaced it with like Blueprints or again, I would
Yeah.
have replaced it with Absalom or something like that.
You know what? Blueprints should be here. I think Blueprints is
Yeah.
actually one of the better answers. It's one of the only games for me this year that
Fuck,
might
that should
have
have been
won
in
it over.
direction. God, that should have been in direction too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it should have been in direction. That's what I mean. Like, I think if Blueprints had been there instead of Death Stranding 2, it would have won the category for me.
But I think
Yeah, weird that's not there.
like comparative, like again, the sentiment of like, oh, it's here because it's a Nintendo game. I think this has much more of a right to be here than Death Stranding 2 because of Jeff Keighley's preference for anything Kojima related. So
But it is
I
good.
don't know.
I
That's
will
my
say
two
I do
cents.
very much like Death Stranding 2, but I do think the pacing
No,
issues are bad enough to warrant it not being on Game of the Year. I think.
that's coming from someone who enjoys playing the game a lot, but because it's so focused on its story, and I have a lot of issues with the way that its story is told, it's hard for it to be up here when it's not as well rounded as the other picks.
Yeah. I mean, that's the real thing with the rest of these picks is that you can't point at them and go, oh, they do this really badly for any of them, except for Death Stranding 2, where you can be like, oh, the pacing is really bad.
I mean, I would say that
Um,
like the story in Bonanza isn't great, but it so doesn't focus
But it's
on it
also
the
not
way
the
that Death
focus,
Stranding 2
right?
does.
Like Death Stranding 2
Yeah,
focuses on it. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of really good picks here. I think for me the front runners are pretty clearly Clair Obscur Expedition 33 and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I do think Expedition 33 is going to sleep, and I will be happy if it does. I'm also not upset if any of these others wins. Like Deliverance 2 is really good. Silksong is really good. Hades 2 is really good. Bonanza is really good. Expedition 33 is like, I think, just really impressive.
Well, we all know what's gonna win. It's not a secret.
Well,
Again, I could be
again,
wrong,
like
but you know,
sometimes Keeley throws us a curveball, and maybe Death Stranding 2 will win, and we're all out of touch.
to be fair, Astrobot was a curveball last year.
But it was
A good
I very much
curveball.
appreciated.
A good curveball, but a curveball.
But hey, if we think back to Stephen Key's speech last year from Larian about the winner of Game of the Year this year, Expedition 33 really hits those marks.
It does.
So
It absolutely does.
yeah, I think it's probably going to win, and I'll be happy if it does. And I also won't be mad if other games win, as long as it's not Death Stranding 2, because then I'll be a little upset. But it's still
I'd be
good. I still like
angry.
that game.
I think I'd look at Jeff Keighley differently, permanently.
I'd
after
lose a
that,
little
if it
respect for
won.
his kicks if that were to happen.
Well, his kicks have been so lame the last couple years, dude. Come on.
Yeah, his game needs to be upped. Okay. That's the nominees. We talked about most of them. Any Game of the Year nominees that you think should be here that aren't here from anyone?
I mean,
We
I already
talked about
said Blueprints.
Yeah,
Yeah.
besides Blueprints, not
I
really.
mean, obviously Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines too, but
Yeah, of course, obviously.
I'm shitting on that game because I love it, but it's not Game of the
You
Year
know what?
material.
I'll throw Europa Universalis up there. I think Europa Universalis deserves a lot of recognition.
I mean, I'll I mean, I'd say I'd rather have Absalom up there than Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, see, the problem is Absalom's going directly against Hades 2, which it can't win. That's a
No,
fight
it
that
can't.
Absalom can't win.
No, it can't.
Um,
It
it's
can't.
too comparable. It's just not
Yeah.
going to win that one. But yeah, there's a lot of other good games that came out this year. Digimon Story Time Stranger, great one. Tainted Grail Follow Avalon, another really good.
Completely
Roguelike.
passed over this year.
Which I can't wait for us to start playing together.
Yeah,
God,
we
that's
got to
gonna
do
be fun.
our video series over the next year. I would give props to Stalker 2 for getting a ton of huge updates that just came out as well. It seems super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff. So that's it for Game of the Year talk and nominees. Let's talk shoutouts.
Alrighty.
Jesus
What a
Christ.
shout!
I'll go first. I'm gonna do a bit of a amuse bouche of what I've been watching recently, since it's been a
Go
little
for it.
while. I saw Predator Badlands. That movie's sick.
Very
Really
good.
good. Incredible score. So good. I watched Frankenstein with a bunch of friends on Halloween, which is really funny. Liked it overall. I didn't love it as much as some other Guillermo del Toro movies, but I really liked it overall. My girlfriend and I started watching What We Do in the Shadows, which is fucking hilarious.
Very good.
I love it. Um, I also started watching the new season of Stranger Things. I'm all caught up so far. They're doing it in 3x. Pretty good so far. The first episode's a little shaky, but for the most part, I've been enjoying it. And then I also have been watching It Welcome to Derry, where I think the final episode airs tonight. And it started off not great, but it's kind of crawling its way up, and it is getting better and better as it goes on. So I'm kind of interested to see if it sticks any kind of landing or not. And then just a bunch of Christmas movies and stuff as well. Or sorry, Thanksgiving movies.
Cool. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who else has got a shout out?
I do. I finally, over the weekend, watched for the first time Pirates of the Caribbean 3 at World's End.
First time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had seen 1 and 2, and I'd rewatched them a lot. And then I saw 4 when it came out. I didn't like it. I don't know why I didn't see 3, but I finally saw it. It's very good.
Very good.
It's really long, but it's pretty good.
All right. I'm going to shout out Kirby Air Riders. Because, man,
Hell yeah.
that game rocks. It's a great playing game. I was playing non-stop rounds of Air Ride, which I wasn't expecting. I thought I would basically only play City Trial, because that's what I did with the first one. But every mode in Air Riders is really good and has a lot of stuff compared to the original game, which is really fun. Like, I found the actual just racing mode to be quite good. So, I'm enjoying playing that immensely.
All right. Well, I basically shouted out Time Stranger in the episode, so I'll skip that one. And I guess my shout out's going to be for Hellboy comics. I just finished up Hellboy in Hell, which is the conclusion to the main Hellboy comic. And, they're really good. Turns out the editor on that book is a bit of a creep. So,
Weird.
if that's the kind of thing that puts you off a book, unfortunately, that's the way it is, and he has since been fired from the book. But that whole book, like that whole series, came out years ago. So, but he's not the author, and it's really good. It's way different than the Guillermo del Toro movie, which more people are familiar with. But the comics are incredible, and the art is just phenomenal.
Awesome. Well, there's no outro music for me to hit this time because travel mode means no music. But podcast Tuesdays, live podcast platform of your choice, YouTube and Twitch, and all that jazz. There it is. It's playing us out. And that's the end.